Most people seem to live in character. And they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And they have a class. And they have a place. But there's also another kind of life. One gets hit by some unusual transverse force. And one lives crosswise for the rest of time. Well, that's me, roaming sideways through life. But inside my head there was romance. Running through the highlands with Alan Breck, Prose on a desert island, the search for the Holy Grail, the trials of the hero. Inside my head I was suffering and striving and great feats of strength and ennobling tests of character. And this was the plan for my life. But what exactly was my life? Suzanne Gordon once said, to be alone is to be different. To be different is to be alone. Tired of being misunderstood, Claudia turns to fantasy to escape the real world. However, eventually, she must either accept who she is, or accept that she will always be alone. Flown Sideways Through Life by Claudia Schiffer. At last count, I've had 65 jobs. You know, first there's the allure of alternative identities through employment. And then one day the wind shifts and you're a runaway living in a garage and you have to get a job. Which you always have to say yes to get. And not just yes either, that's not good enough. Oh no, you have to smile at some guy in a cheap suit engorged with the majestic power to hire and fire. And if you don't, well, that means you have a bad attitude. A bad attitude? He can't imagine my attitude. What I really want to do is grab him by his swirly tie and scream, I'd like to smack you so hard your whole family would cry. I'd like to kick you to death in front of your dog. Those are the times when you can't take it. When you think that life is too hard, the tasks are impossible, and there is no grace. No treasure. The only talismans that protected me were the constancy of books and the comfort of food until I was really well read and over 200 pounds. The human sofa, I used to joke, because I wore a gray skirt made out of upholstery fabric. I wore it every day. That year, the year of the skirt, was the year that Buster Keaton became my boyfriend. In my journal, I wrote him pages and pages of pure longing. What most women tell their lovers, I told him in my heart. I was really alone that year. My family wouldn't speak to me. I moved out of the garage into an apartment on a slummy street with nothing but a bag of laundry and a box of Malamar. I worked crappy jobs and went to a college that was a cruel joke where people slumped in chairs asked, do we have to read the whole book? In response, I would turn slowly in my seat and stare at them, impassively, blinking. In these moments, I was sure that I had crushed them, because I was also sure that I looked like Buster Keaton, that I had the force of his gaze. His eyes. Oh, his eyes. In his baby pictures, his films, even as an old man, they were always the same. So beautiful. He was my kindred spirit, who I wanted and what I wanted to be. I was so afraid of being vulnerable or babyish or foolish, and there was he, continually mocked by the world, sometimes looking sadder than I could bear, but holding fast to who he was and what he believed. This I could understand. This was me, wasn't it? On Halloween that year, I went to this huge party dressed up as Keaton. I must have looked so bizarre. Imagine a short, extremely round, and very, very pale young woman in a too large men's suit roaming around a room full of festive costumes, looking into people's faces, expectantly, sure that someone would get it. No. And I mean not one person knew who I was. But I didn't care. I walked around that night dressed up as somebody else, but knowing who I was. world may have taken me close, but that didn't mean the world was right. Because after all, look how wrong the world had been about Buster Keaton. And all this time, job followed job in syncopation. As the time span of jobs shortened, the quality decreased, from the kinds where you actually fill out an application form to the kinds where some guy pays you out of his pants pocket. I went through jobs like a hot knife through butter. I went through butter like a hot knife through butter. You know, being fat is just so un-American, so unattractive, unfashionable, unthinkable, uncool. It makes you invisible. No, it makes you conspicuous. You, standing at the window, your forehead pressed against the glass, looking down into the street at a girl who's all dressed up on a Saturday night, get into a car, and drive away, and you're crying because you're fat. I went into free fall. I'd been fired just once too often, and the fear beneath began to mutter, oh, what am I going to do? I've got no money. Oh, shit, I really did it this time. And walking down the street, I saw myself in the store window. And I stopped. I couldn't believe that what was inside me looked like this to the world. That this was what other people saw. And this is how I got a job. In a whorehouse. When I was a child, I was like you. I thought I would do such things. Now I've realized that sitting on rooftops, desktops, countertops, perched on milk crates, wine crates, paper cartons, we are all the same. A motley crew of artsy types and working mothers and immigrants who work 6 days, double shifts, and send all the money home. And we all fit in because none of us belongs anywhere. Boy, what you can learn. 30 words in every language, and the fact that nobody is just a typist, just a dishwasher, just a cook, just a porter, or just a prostitute. But everyone has a story. Everyone has at least one story that will stop your heart. Is this disjointed? I don't think so. Life doesn't have a topic sentence. There's nothing as cliched as a story of road travel, lessons learned, obstacles overcome. That's because it's the only story. It's a big story, simple as reading something in a book as a child. Something that sounds made up, like the phases of the movie. And then one night, you look up at the sky and you realize that it's true. And you can see it for yourself. And that's all I can say, really. These things are true. And I have seen them for myself. And this is job number 66. Woo!